Ankush. I have total 10 years of experience into storage and backup. And we will directly start with the demo that we have. In
Yeah,
demo, you can expect what will be in the course and how,
right,
how your course will be. So
right,
let
right.
me share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, Ankush.
As I mentioned, this would be a NetApp course and
Mm-hmm.
training overview on the course, complete course that we are providing at Radical.
Mm-hmm.
And if I talk about my profile, I have 9 years of experience, 9+ years of experience into storage and backup in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am also worked on the implementation project, administration project in the past, wherein
Mm-hmm.
we had deployed the NetApp boxes
Great.
directly to the customers, different customers basically supported L3. Right now, my profile is more towards architect of a NetApp. I am certified in NetApp as well as in EMC, ITIL, rubric backup as well, and if you know ITIL as well. So as part of my hybrid cloud certifications, I have done the certification in Azure as well as the storage grid. If you are aware,
Yeah.
that is one type of a hybrid solution for
Mm-hmm.
NetApp. So that's the portfolio I have, and I am with Radical since 2019. So it's almost 3 years been here. So we at Radical provide personal level NetApp training as well as corporate batches as well. So we train engineers and help them to achieve their goals for in terms of NetApp training as well as for certifications as well. So this course will be basically the complete course. You will be able to do the NCDA and NCTA certifications. These are
Okay.
two type of certification you will be able to complete on the basis of this course. What are the key points about the courses? You get certified trainers at Radical. This is not only for this particular training, but all the trainings that we provide at Radical. Second point is talking about flexible training modules. So, for example, let's say when I talk about flexible is if let's say client or candidate has some additional module to be added, that can be added based on the different infrastructure or
Mm-hmm.
different environment that we have. So that can be added into the modules that we already have. Okay. So I remember in the past last batch we had a requirement of to cover incident management processing as
Mm-hmm.
well as the DR recovery. So that we had
Yes.
covered, and that is already added now. So we are not going to remove that as part of training. So it's already in the training now that
Great.
we get. Yeah.
We are
Then
looking also at
Mhm.
disaster recovery.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is there. There would be an exercise as well. So it was there initially as well, but the exercise was not there. So DR in terms of different vServer as well as volume, so that would be there.
Okay.
Okay. Then you get whiteboard session. So basically our session talks about 40% of theoretical sessions and 60% it would be on practical level.
Okay.
But talking about this 40% theoretical as well, we have whiteboard session which will make the theoretical session interesting.
Okay.
So we have added a fun fact as well, wherein you are just not learning the theoretical and get bored. So that is not the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we will have practical sessions as well. So practical sessions, there are two types of it. One is lab, and one is the preparation of the lab. So
Okay.
we will do that as well. So let's say, for example, you are setting up a cluster. We will provide you the plan to setting up the cluster, wherein we will also have prerequisite, post validation, uh, apart from the implementation steps.
Great.
So that we will provide. So let's say,
Practical is, Ankit, sorry for disturbing you, but the practical is also online training, or we need to come to institute? like
No,
that?
it's an fully online training. After COVID, we have started delivering online trainings on the NetApp, and it is very much achievable, is what I feel. If there is a need specifically to be on site, we will see that, but it's a complete online training. So
Okay.
Pallavi will add shades if required on that one.
Okay. If you want to see that device physically, then it is possible.
Um, no, I myself and Pallavi had a talk on this one, and it will not be possible to go to the data center and visit it. But what is possible that we'll give you the diagrams of everything, of what are the ports. We will explain in details what is the port. So if you are aware of any type of hardware, let's say a small computer as well, you will get to know what
Okay.
diagram and what it talks about.
Okay.
Uh, After this, you know, let me show you what I'm talking about. So there is a module called module number 2, wherein we talk about portfolio, and there is a module number 4 which talks about platform. Okay, let me share my complete content so that this is what I was talking about.
Okay.
So we'll tell you how much what is the size of it, what hardware looks like, and what how many ports are there, and
Mm.
what is called each of the port. We will explain you what is what, and this is just not for one model. There will be a lot of other models as well, so we'll tell you on that port, that as well. So
Okay.
what port used for what, what are the
Mm-hmm.
other models that we have. So we were talking about AFF 700 in this case, but
Mm-hmm.
there are other so let's say there is a AFF series, fast series, this shelf. So
Okay.
these things we will explain in detail, so that this is a part of our training as well. So
Okay.
we'll explain in details about these things.
Okay. Okay.
I hope that clears the mud.
Yeah. No worries.
And then we have lab and lab guides as well. So talking about lab, we have two types of setup that can be used. One is virtual, and one is the one we can set up on our laptop using
Mm-hmm.
VMware workstation. So
Okay.
virtual meaning the labs that we have on the NetApp site directly, and how the
Mm-hmm.
lab will look like is, let me share that as well. So let's say this is a lab that we have for the cluster setup. So this will have command cluster as well. There would be a cluster. There would be a node
Mm-hmm.
which will be provided. There would be one Windows host. There would be two Linux host on
Okay.
which we are going to test it on. S3 is for storage grid as well. So
Okay.
you know about object storage, and if
Mm-hmm.
so,
Right.
those would be there as part of our labs as well. So this
Okay.
is how your lab will look like, and it will have everything exactly exactly what it is basically on the hardware. And
Mm-hmm.
there would be a limitation of workload. We will not be able to generate or create the workload that the actual workload on the infrastructure, but because it will contain a lot of data and lot of volumes, right, lot of IOPS. So that is
Okay.
not possible for us, but there is a software we can install, and we can have some sort of IOPS, but not
Mm.
the IOPS that we get in the real time environment.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. So the reason you are seeing is it's not a setup. So this is a cluster setup lab,
Okay.
and we need to provide the IPs
Mm-hmm.
for each node, and then we set up a cluster. So
Okay.
this will be the first lab uh, to go ahead. So we
Ankush,
have,
we go through that node first, right? Then cluster.
yes, we'll
Okay.
apply the. We'll tell you how we connect to the node, what we
Okay.
do before racking and stacking. Also, we explain how we do the racking and stacking.
Okay.
We will also explain how you connect to the device using the serial console cable that we have.
Mm-hmm.
We will also tell you what IPs we need to mention, and what will be the prerequisite to provide the IP. And once we have the IP, how we can take the console of it, so from
Mm-hmm.
scratch itself. The only thing will not be there is the data center visit, because
Okay.
it's not possible for us to do that.
Okay.
Otherwise, we would love to do that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So you will get the lab guides as well, which will talks about step by step
Hmm.
guiding on how it can be done. Okay, so this is these are about labs. So there are two types of lab we discussed. One is the one we can set up on our laptop. The
Hmm.
limitation would be, if you have a 8 GB RAM, you won't be able to create a cluster of two nodes because
Okay.
one node requires 8 GB RAM.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
But in virtual labs that I have shown you, that is very much possible. You can create a cluster of four nodes as well there.
Okay.
So it's not a problem. Uh, then there are documents that we provide, right? So
Hmm.
documents are in detail documents we will talk about from NetApp site. So each topic will have one complete PDF of 50 to 100 pages, which talks about in detail of what it is, right? So
Okay.
if you are looking for that documents, we have those documents already downloaded for the latest
Mhm.
version, not for the 9.12, but we have 9.10 for now. But if required, we if there are any changes into that document, we will get those documents for you as well.
Okay.
Okay, then there is additional tools, meaning let's say now we have a NetApp system admin, right? So
Hmm.
system manager that we have, but we have one additional tool called ActiveIQ Unified Manager, which was
Hmm.
referred to OCUM in the past. And that tool, we are also providing you the training on that tool, how it can be set up, and how you can add your clusters and how you can create a monitoring. You can create a tickets. How you can monitor all of your NetApp clusters at one tool. So that we will tell you. Apart from this, we will also tell you the hardware guide at the NetApp, and how NetApp support ticket is created, basically how NetApp support ticket, and what are the products that you have, and how you can manage your products, how you can generate a health report for your products onto the NetApp site. So these are the additional tools that we go through, and we
Okay.
also have a separate module for that.
Okay.
Okay. Then other topic that I have is project. Project is basically it should have been the project work. Basically, what we do. So after setup is done, we'll tell you, yeah, what are the vulnerabilities that we have, and how you can go to the cluster and log into the cluster and identify what are the vulnerabilities that we have and how those can be remediated. Yeah.
Okay.
So this will be as a part of project. The
Hmm.
project will be given to you, you guys, and you will work on it. And whenever you see, we will track that project on regular basis. And if you have any doubts or something, we will guide you throughout the project. So
Okay.
this is one type of project I talked about. Second type of project would be, let's say, we will create an aggregate. Aggregate is nothing but the combination of disk. For now,
Hmm.
you can assume it as. So it will be a size of pool that we will create per node, right?
Hmm.
In our labs. But project related to would be how you can create aggregates using different rates. Okay,
Okay.
we will tell you how it can be created, and you will work in the background, and we will verify if it is created or not properly.
Okay.
Okay, and if you have any doubts on it, we will guide you there as well. So
Okay.
in terms of storage pool creating or aggregate creation on one node, complete aggregate creation on one node, that's a project we will tell you, and you will work on it.
Okay.
One type of project would be to provision 10 volumes inside 10 learns, right? So that's how it would be. So the project will is nothing but the daily activities that you do as a part of storage admin or NetApp admin.
Yeah. We are looking for that also. Yeah.
Yeah. So these would be the projects and exercise.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm.
so this will be given to you, and at any time you if you have any doubts, we will clear those doubts. And but at the end of the day, you will have to work on those projects. So it's not something I will be there to while you are implementing each and every steps, but we will tell you what are the steps you need to do. We will
Hmm.
even provide you the commands as well. So that
Okay.
would be there. And if you have any doubts or so, we can go through our basically project will be assigned you on the basis of modules that we cover, right? So let's say we have covered one module, we will tell you this is the project or this is the exercise that is given to you. You will work on it based on the what we have done in the lab, and we will tell you how this can be achieved. So sometimes you also need to do Google and this stuff, and then you work on it. So few candidates are like, I don't know how it can be done, and then we guide candidates how it can be done, right? So, but
Okay.
I'll not be there. So this part of exercise is added to train the candidate, just not for one single task, for multiple tasks as well. And using these modules, the candidates will be able to do some new task as well if they have not done it before. So this
Mhm.
type of exercise helps in that way.
Okay.
Okay, then we have real time training as well, wherein we will talk about upgrades, how you can do the upgrades, right? How you can do the DR activities, how you can provision, learn, run reclamation as well. So that sort of real time training you will get. So using this, training modules, you will be able to do the NCDA certification, and you will be able to support the infrastructure of any environment, I would say,
Okay.
until level 2 and level 3, based on your preparation, obviously, how many
Mhm.
exercise and projects you do. Okay, but it is for sure beyond level 1. Okay, just not
Mhm.
level 1.
Mhm.
We'll also tell you how the health check of the system can be done, right? So what are the parameters you check while you are performing the health check of your NetApp system, right? And what are the actions you do if you found any? So let's say if there is any hardware failure, right? So what you do in that case also. So we'll
Okay.
provide you that training as well. So this is a complete training wherein you will get real time training. It's just not a theoretical part and the guy labs that we do. It will be a complete real time training, as if you are working on the as a NetApp admin already, and you are working at all the tasks that you get.
Okay.
Few tasks will be environment specific, as I stated, and that can be added in the flexible training modules that you
Mhm.
if can be asked.
Okay.
Then there are two additional modules: resume preparation and mock interviews. These are
Yeah.
for those candidates who are looking outside for a job, or inside if they are trying to get some project, or if there
Mhm.
are client interviews, we will help you in that as well.
Okay.
So, in the mock interview section, we will tell you where you stand as a part of your NetApp admin, right? So, if you can show, if you can tell client that this is I have worked on level 1, level 2, level 3, or beyond
Mhm.
that. So that will be determined in the mock interviews. Basically, how or your team performs, right? So
Okay.
that will be a kind of feedback.
Mhm. Okay.
So, any questions on a key point?
No, Ankush. All
Okay.
clear.
Then we have overview of complete syllabus here. Obviously, I cannot go and talk about each and every topic, but I'll try to tell you something about each module. So we have 20 modules in detail, let's say, right?
Mm.
So the first module will talk about storage basics and fundamentals, which will talk about how many disk type we have, and basically how many RAID types we have. So this will be all the fundamentals and basics for your other modules to have, right? So
Yeah.
then NetApp product portfolio, how many products NetApp has, NetApp site has, and the complete evolution of NetApp itself. So therein we'll talk about that in module number 2. Module number 3, we will discuss about architecture. Uh, just not the architecture of C mode, we'll also discuss about 7 mode architecture and how C mode is different than the 7 mode architecture. So 7
Mm.
mode, if you're not aware, were the old boxes, and they don't support it now on tab, but
Mhm.
we see a lot of customers are using it for the archive or for backup purpose or for additional backup purpose. So
Mm.
you should know what is the architecture and what are the commands to it as well. So that we cover in module number 3. Module number 4, I think we saw it already. What are the hardware platforms? How many
Yeah.
each model has? How many models we have in the NetApp? How many disk would be there in each model? So that we'll explain. If you are using additional disk shelf, we will provide that as well. So additional disk shelves and part number of it, complete port, how many number of ports, how many number of cables you need to connect if you are using NAS or SAN, both the setups. Then module number five, we will do the system setups. So in this system setup, this is the first. This will be your first lab session, wherein the lab will be starting from this session. In setup, we will discuss about what are the parameters you give while do the system setup, node setup, let's say cluster setup, right? So what are the, how you connect to it, how you provide the IP, and we have a lab also for you to do it. We are going to launch this lab inside the in the modules as well, and that will
Hmm.
be a part of training, and the exercise will start from this module itself, exercise and projects. Okay. Then we have admin components and boot up process. So let's say let's say a node reboots or it starts up. So we'll talk about that as well in detail. So this will be a module wherein you will get to know about the background of each node, what it does is in the background if it starts up and boots up, right? So that we will have. So this will be a complete detail. So after this training, you will get to know, everything, how the system memory will work, how the RAM will work, what is the use of the system memory or the additional system memory, how it works in the background, how it writes data onto the disk, all those stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Model number seven, we'll talk about management interfaces. Interfaces are nothing but the leaf that we create on the port. Okay, so we basically have three types of managements. One is data management, one is network management, one is uh, so management also, right? So node management, cluster management, as well as the data management. So we'll
Hmm.
talk about this in detail about what are those, and how admins network is different and client network is different than what it is in the NetApp, right? And how you can set it up, how you can create the leaf, how you can assign the IP address to the port, all those details. Model number 8 talks about post installation task. In after post installation, let's say you have created a cluster now, and afterwards you will have to do some initial configuration on the, let's say, creating an users, right? Setting up an AD users, let's say, or creating an local users. So this type of activities would be there in the post installation task. How you can virtually segregate your physical clusters. So that would be there. In the module number 9, we will talk about physical resources and caching. This is basically how physical resources will be used in NetApp and how the caching will work. If, let's say, you have aggregate, and if there is a client request to the aggregate, how that request comes and how the caching works, and how you will assign your physical resources or physical ports, let's say, or the what drive it will be stored on, what how the read works, how the write works. This will be explained in the module number 9.
Okay.
Module number 10 specifically talks about logical resources, meaning how you can create more than one single resource on your physical resource, right? So logical resources will be done, let's say, for example, your V servers, lifts, VLANs, right? So sort of things we will explain in the logical resources.
Okay.
In module number 11, we talk about networking primer. So what are the networking modules that we have? So these module number 11 and 12 both are networking modules, and you need to have certain networking knowledge while you are running on the network. So we will
Hmm.
tell you, let's say, subnet. We will tell you how it can be used in the in part of network NetApp technology. So we
Okay.
will discuss that as well in the module number 11 and 12. Okay. Module number 13 talks about specific to NAS protocol and how it can be configured. There would be a lab sessions on it. So there would be different configuration that we will discuss in the NAS. How will you will configure it for your customer, uh, and even in the lab. So
Okay.
same goes for SAN as well. So we have two separate 13 and 14 modules which are really important for us to, in the daily job that we do as a part of NetApp admin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that is your module number 13 and 14. Module number 15 talks about storage efficiency in terms of deduplication, compression, how it can be enabled on your system, how you can track it, or how you can, you know, uh, fine tune it if it is already there in your environment. So we'll tell you that as well in this part of storage efficiency, and how you can gain the maximum benefits of your from this to your system. So let's say if there is a volume already deduplication is enabled on it, right? We will tell you how much space savings you are getting, and how you can improve on the space savings that you are getting on it already. So fine tuning the operations of it will tell you that as well. Module number 16 talks about the performance monitoring. Performance monitoring in the sense, let's say database team or any team or application team, let's say, says that we are getting a performance, we are getting a latency in our applications, and this is the volume that we have given from the storage, right? So we'll tell you how it can be troubleshooted and what are the steps you need to follow while we do that troubleshooting. And there are some best practices that we follow as a NetApp configuration. Generally we don't follow each and every best practices while we are setting it up initially, right? So we can fine tune our environment based on the requirement. We can create a QoS as well. So QoS nothing but the, we limit the IOPS on few volumes if that is a part of requirement. So let's say one node, it will have a lot of application running on, right? One application would be lot critical than the other application, right? So let's say production and non-production. So you have different QoS for production. You have different. So it's basically a segregation of your production, non-production data, or critical applications or non-critical applications, basically, and how you do it. So we will now discuss that in the model number 16. Model number 17 talks about snapshots, how snapshots work. So snapshots are basically how you can set up the backup for your volumes.
Yeah, we know. We are aware about that.
So we discussed that, and
Yeah.
how it can be different, how it can be configured.
Mm-hmm.
Data protection is basically protecting your data against your uh, disaster recovery. So this is where we will talk about setting up the replication for your existing NetApp.
Okay.
And DR test itself will be discussed in here, but as a part of exercise, you will be doing it in the module number 20. In module
Okay.
number 20, we'll talk about incident management as well, wherein we will talk about change and how SR will be created, how incident we manage. We talked in general, okay, but many
Mm-hmm.
customers will have, let's say, ServiceNow tool, or uh, let's say remedy tool. So we will
Mm-hmm.
talk in general so that it will be applicable for both of them.
Right. Okay.
So
Great.
module number 19, it talks about fabric pool. So basically it is an integration using your it will be integration of your NetApp box to the cloud or to the
Hmm.
object storage, and how
Okay.
it can be set up. We will talk about that in the module number 19. Basically module number 19 is not something that is generally you will get in all the courses, but this is the model number we have added, so that now we know the customers are going to the cloud, customers are
Right.
going to the hybrid, and how we can set up, or how we can set that with your on-prem devices.
Mm-hmm.
So that we will discuss. The
Okay.
one point I missed here is upgrades. So
Hmm.
that would be a model number 21, say. So we
Okay.
will talk about upgrades, how you can, what version you are upgrading to, what are the pre-checks you do, what are the post checks you do. That will
Okay.
be part of your
Okay.
model number
Yeah.
21 as well. So I will add that here, model number 21.
Okay.
Okay. Any doubts on this one?
No, Ankush.
Okay. So job opportunities in the market, we'll discuss that as well in the while we go on, right? And the future of technology, let's say for 5 to 10 years, we'll discuss that as well. What is on-prem, what is cloud, and
Mm.
what is hybrid. If it is hybrid, we have a hybrid lab as well, which we set up, and we you know migrate your data from the
Okay.
on-prem to hybrid. Not the complete migration though, but what we do is the segregation of your cold data and hot data, so that we do.
How we can segregate the data, Ankush?
So that we will discuss how we can segregate. So let's say you have a data in aggregate, right?
Mm.
What customer do is customer only use 10 to 20% of your data, right,
Mm.
on the daily basis.
Right.
80% data sits on the storage systems, right?
Mm.
And this is the data where customer just want it to be there, not to
Mm.
delete it,
Mm.
and they don't
Right.
access this frequently. In order to, you know, so this is the data that is sitting up on the data center, which costs more, right? So why
Right.
not to send this data to somewhere else, to the cloud, let's say, or to the object storage, let's
Right.
say, right?
Dump anywhere.
Dump anywhere.
Okay.
But you will manage all of your data from the NetApp system itself. But in the background, this data will go to somewhere else.
Okay.
Let's say
Okay.
it's like setting up the archive or the
Mm.
cloud or the uh, object storage for that matter,
Mm.
and you
Mm.
will manage that. So let's say you have a volume and you are moving that volume. So you can set it up so that you can set. Uh, so let's say the data older than 30 days, which is not getting written and
Mm.
freed, right? So that will be migrated. There is another type of it would be the snap mirror data would go to the cloud, right?
Ankush, it will automatically deleted, or we need to set
We
some
need to
rules or
set it
anything
up.
else?
Yeah, we need to set it up rules. Rules
Okay.
will be, you can set that. The second type of rule would be, you will set it, you set the, let's say you just want snapshots of the volume to go on cloud.
Mm. Mm.
Third type of rule would be, you will set complete data on the volume to the archive, right?
Okay.
There would be some pros and cons also towards it,
Mm.
and
Mm.
how we can set up, so that complete details we'll talk about.
Okay.
So that is how it will be. And similar competitors on the
EMC storage.
NetApp is the EMC storage. We have other storages as well, but if we compare, so maximum in the market, we will see EMC and the NetApp, right? So we
Right.
have EMC storage as well, EMC
Okay.
storage training if required, but obviously if it is, we will tell you how it will be different than the EMC storage.
Okay.
About the certifications, I think we've already discussed. You can
Right.
do two types of certifications using this course. One is NCTA and one is NCDA. NCTA is the basic certification that level one engineers will do, and
Uh-huh.
advanced is the certification that level two and level three guys does it.
Okay.
There is one type of certification which is installation certification as well. You can do it, that certification as well, using this.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and where you find the details is this page, wherein you will get the NetApp details. By the way, there is a offer going on right now. If you are booking through Pearson, right, NetApp certifications, there is 50% off also.
Okay. What is the price of NCTA?
So all certification cost $150.
$150.
But
Okay.
right now, if you're booking it through Pearson, they are providing 50% off.
Okay.
And I sort of help candidates also, you know, so let's say NCDA is a hard certificate sometimes, and sometimes candidate doesn't go through all the documents that we give them. So we try to help them in terms of dumps and something is required,
Okay.
so just to get their passing score.
So we can get we can book it, right, for next month or next to next month. in
Yes,
advance?
yes, yes. You can book it in advance. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you all you need to go to this site.
Okay.
You can book it. All you need to specify the details.
Okay. Okay.
You need to create an account. You need to specify what if you are giving the exam offline or you want to go to the
Mhm.
center at home or center. So you can book the center. You can see the slots of the centers. So
Mhm.
yeah, prefer recommendation is to go to the center because sometimes it
Right.
doesn't work at home.
Otherwise, they are asking a lot of questions.
Yeah, and you don't get a refund, right? So that's
Okay.
what
Yeah.
it is. If something goes wrong, you will
Hmm.
not get a refund, or you will have to fight a lot for the refund.
Right.
You want to avoid that situation.
Right. Right.
So that is all about certifications.
Okay.
We can discuss about any doubts you have. Prior to that, the requirements of this training would be you should have the basic knowledge of computer networks,
Hmm.
and no previous NetApp experience is required or no previous
Great.
NetApp knowledge. If you don't have a NetApp knowledge, you have come to the right place.
That's all from my side. I don't have any doubt.
Sir, hello.
Anything to be added, Pallavi, on
Yeah.
whatever we?
Sir, the student who want to practice the practical on NetApp system that we will configure at home, and they might need your support in order to get this practical run smoothly. How can we achieve that?
So let's say you, if I'm not, if I'm understood it correctly, Gaurav, you have a test system at your environment, and you are trying to set it up things there, and if that is the case, it's wonderful to have the test system. We can go through it and we can set it up. Not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah. What I won't be able to support is let's say you have a P1 or P2 call going on that system. I'll not be able to join on there. But I'll able to guide you what has to be done.
Hmm. Okay, Pallavi. Thanks for this. Thanks, Ankush, and thanks, Pallavi. We'll update you shortly regarding the sessions and all those things, the batch and all those other things. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
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 Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much. Nice talking with Ankush.
Yeah. Thanks, Gaurav. Thanks, everyone. And have a nice weekend.
Yeah. Bye bye.